Hello everybody, Rusted Ground here. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be talking about what I consider to be some beginner tips for players that have recently started or are thinking about starting their adventure in Faerun. Baldur's Gate 3 has been out for a little over a month at the time of this recording, and we've had a few patches already that have fixed a lot of things in the game or have improved certain aspects. I have recommended this game to a lot of my friends, and some of them are not familiar with the CRPG genre or with other Larian games, so they did ask me quite a lot of questions at the beginning of their adventure. I thought that the answers to these questions might make for a good video dedicated specifically to newcomers to the CRPG genre or to Larian Studios games. For those of you that play CRPGs, everything that I say in this video will most likely be already known, but if you still decide to watch the video and you feel that there are other tips for new players that I missed, please use the comment section to give those tips. Let's help other players dive into this wonderful genre of gaming. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. If you've never played a CRPG game before, or a Larian Studios game for that matter, what you will find is that Baldur's Gate 3 is a game where you have to control multiple characters at a time. Your party consists of 4 characters, one being your main character, the one that you've created when you started the game, and the other 3 will be 3 of your companions that you meet throughout your adventure. Now, by default, your companions are linked to each other, so when you move one character, the other 3 will follow. But there are a lot of instances where you will want to detach your characters from one another and move them independently. All you need to do in this case is either drag each character out of the party like so, or you can use this button right here under your party icons to group and ungroup your party members. The other button in the same area will toggle the crouch function on and off. You can also crouch using your C key on your keyboard or Shift C if you want to crouch your entire party. This helps if you want to sneak past enemies or if you want to position your characters in a more advantageous location before starting an encounter. Throughout your adventure, you will come across a lot of loot, and your inventory will slowly but surely get filled with items. The inventory system in Baldur's Gate 3 is unfortunately not the greatest, so to make life a little easier for you, here are some tips on how to manage your inventory. If you want to select multiple items at a time, all you need to do is click the first item and then shift-click the last item that you want to select. This will select all the items in a group. If you want to select individual items one by one, you can control-click each item that you want to select. Selling your items can also be a bit of a chore and it might take a lot of time. So in order to ease this, you can mark items in your inventory as wares. To do so, select the items that you want to sell and right-click on any of them and add to wares. Now, when you go to a vendor, you can simply click the Sell Wares button and that will sell all the items that you've marked previously. Another tip for selling items to vendors is that you should always try to interact with a vendor using your highest charisma character. Charisma influences, amongst other things, traders' prices, and as you can see here, there is a difference if you interact with a vendor on a character that has 16 charisma versus a character that has 8 charisma. Character creation is a very important step when you start Baldur's Gate 3. The game is based on the D&D 5th edition ruleset, and that means that you will get ability modifiers based on the stats that you have. These ability modifiers, however, are only activated or upgraded on even numbers. So you will get an increase of your ability modifier if you have, let's say, 16 charisma, but not if you have 17 charisma. The ability modifiers will increase by 1 point with every 2 points that you put in a certain stat. If you've already started your adventure, don't worry, because pretty early on, you will meet a character that will help you respec whenever you want. For a small amount of gold, you will be able to respec any character in your party at any time in Baldur's Gate 3. Speaking of respecing, multiclassing is another interesting feature in Baldur's Gate 3. If you start your adventure with a certain class, you can always multi-class into 1, 2, or even 11 other classes throughout your playthrough. There is actually an achievement if you manage to multi-class in all 12 classes. In order to do so, every time you level up, you can just click this icon right here, and then select the class that you want to multiclass. You can even do so from the level 2, just like I did here. I'm not going to go into the details of which classes work best for multiclassing. That's a video for another time maybe, but I just wanted to show you that you have this option if you want to go down that route. The next tip is about spells and spell types. There are multiple spell types in the game, but the ones that you should look out for are ritual spells. Normally, when you use a spell, you have to expend a spell slot, but with ritual spells, if you cast them outside of combat, they will not use a spell slot. And in my opinion, ritual spells can be some of the most useful when it comes to role-playing. Speak with dead, detect thoughts, disguise self, speak with animals. These are a few examples of ritual spells, so be on the lookout for them. Last tip from me has to do with the map markers. If you open your map, you can click anywhere and drop a marker. A good use for this is either to mark vendors on the map or places of interest that you maybe want to revisit. And there you have it. These are my beginner tips for Baldur's Gate 3. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you have a great time playing this game if you decide to invest time into it. And if you want to see my playthrough, it's available on my channel. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you have other useful tips for new players, drop a comment down below and let's help others play this great game. Thank you very much for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.